Today in class, we were talking about generosity and what is true generosity, not generosity led by people pleasing or fear or I've got to do this. I'm talking pure generosity. So we were going through the different ways of the different layers of generosity. And one thing we were talking about today is the generosity of showing up. And here's what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to give you an example. So I did one-on-ones over a decade, a long time, like 12 years. I loved doing one-on-one sessions, loved it, but I was comfortable there. You come and sit down in front of me and I feel comfortable with that one-on-one interaction. And I didn't end up doing groups for a long time. And here's why. I was terrified. Like, it's not like I was literally terrified. I was terrified to put myself out there. I was terrified to lead. I was terrified to hold a group. I had a ton of stories about it, ton of stories. And so what ended up happening is I took this leadership training a few years ago. And in the leadership training, I was still doing my one-on-ones. I was invisible in that training. There was about 60 people in the training and literally invisible. And it hurt my feelings. It made me sad. I cried, literally not joking, like I cried for days in that training. And we're going through deep emotional processes, and every process came to, Beth, you're hiding. Beth, you're invisible. Wait, who are you? Wait, have you been here the whole time? I'm like, yes, I've been here. My name is Beth Osmer, but I was invisible. I was invisible by choice, even though I would be hurt that people would not know my name or I'd hold back, blah, 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 all these things. I chose to be invisible. I was invisible by choice. I was invisible by fear, through fear. Now, there was one exercise, which I can't share with you what it is because the whole thing is top secret because it would ruin it for the next person if you ever decided to take it. There's this one exercise that literally changed my life. And I realized how deeply I was hiding and how invisible I was. And here's the kicker. Here's what really did it for me. That by me hiding, playing small, being fearful, not putting myself out there, that I was actually being really, really selfish. Because if I'm holding back in my head, thinking about, worrying about, wondering if you're going to like me, or afraid to put myself out there, afraid to create a group, afraid to put my hand out and say, hey, my name is Beth. I'm so excited to meet you. Tell me about you. If I'm afraid to do that, I'm only thinking about my fears. I was only thinking about myself in a lot of ways because I have, like, when you're small, you're thinking about how small you feel or how uncomfortable you feel. But when we're in generosity, we're thinking about the other person. And when I got that feedback that I was being selfish, fucking taker, excuse my language, taker energy, that's what did it for me. I was like, you're right. I'm coming to events. I'm showing up to parties. I'm taking. I'm not giving. I'm not showing up generous. I'm not showing up out of my ego and out of my fears and showing up and asking the question to myself, how can I serve you? How can I best be of service? How can I add value to this event or to this conference or to whatever it is? And when I finally got that me playing small and being an invisible wallflower was actually taking from people, it changed everything. I was like, all right, I'm going to do what it takes to get over the limitation of my own mind and my own fears. And it's exactly what I did. And cut to, I run groups and all the things that we do here in the Spiritual Warrior group. And then I created that, meaning I created myself. I created, it mattered more to be a generous human being, showing up and sharing my gifts. Eventually, it took me a while to get there, but it matters to me more now to be generous and give out and be a leader, leading from within every day. Every day you are leading yourself. How do you show up as a leader? Square one, 101 leadership. How are you leading yourself? Are you leading yourself into the wallflower corner wallflower? Are you leading yourself out to be generous? And if it scares the bejesus ballistic out of you, awesome. Awesome. That probably means you have so many gifts to share. Because those of us that are, I can't believe it. We know we have a gift to share. We know we have multiple gifts to share. We know we're here to impact and change lives. So my invitation to you is this week and moving forward, do something courageous. Get out of your bubble. If you hold back, and if you are out there leading, there's always your next cut. There's always the next cut. Think about Martin Luther King or these great leaders. If they had stayed small, or if they had been, I'm afraid of public speaking, we would not have these great leaders that we have today. So and if you're leading now, what's your next cut? And if you're holding back, what's your next cut? But here's my invitation to you. So think about it, that when we hold back and we're in our ego and we're playing small and we're afraid, and we can be afraid and go for things anyway. We can be afraid and still show up. But when we are afraid and we hold back and we hold back, think of it in this way. Am I taking or am I being generous? Am I taking or am I being generous? Simple. And it's like, which one are you going to choose to be? Shoot, I want to be generous. I want to add value to the world. I know I have gifts, but I'm scared to death. Great. Maybe I'll take a leadership training. Maybe that's what I need. Or maybe I'll reach my hand out, terrified, and say, hello, my name is so-and-so. How can I support you? Whatever it is, taking that first step, taking that next leap. Imagine if we all did that. We would be leading with heart. We would be showing up with presence, and we wouldn't be allowing ourselves to be interacting with our fears. We'd be interacting with heart and love and generosity. And every day I wake up and I'm scared. But it matters more to me. It matters more to me to show up and be generous, to show up and add value to the world. And I know that matters to you too. I know it. So feel free to write me an email, respond to this email, and tell me, share with me what it is that you're going to do this week to break free and leap to that next level of authentic generosity, of the generosity of being you, showing up and asking, how can I add more value to other people's day, to my day, and to the world when I wake up, when I do this, when I do that. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. So I don't want to be no taker. Don't want to be it. I want to be a giver. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and I will see you on the next video.